Minjun Kim, a Korean high school senior, was summoned to another world, became a dark mage, and saved that realm. Returning to Earth, he faced a new challenge as monsters emerged from a dungeon break. Without hesitation, Minjun enlisted the next day to confront the threat. The story begins with Isgard having been honored and paraded, with the entire community supporting him. A couple of siblings were sprinting towards the celebration as it began when they came across an odd-looking man passing by them. The young brother stopped running when he saw the mysterious man pass by them. The man's younger sister told him that the parade was in the opposite direction from where he was traveling, and his brother warned him not to engage her sister with him since he was considered to be a dark mage. The man, who remains unidentified, went right to the location where Saint, a tranquil woman, had been eagerly awaiting him. Minold was the name that Saint had given the enigmatic man, who was later identified. The last threat to Isgard was beheaded, and Minold has exhibited it in front of Saint. She thanks Minold on behalf of the Empire and expresses her gratitude, but Minold doesn't want to waste time and is only asking that his request be granted by the Empire. Then Minold said that from that point on, Saint had to start referring to him as Kim Minjun. After that, Saint told Minold that it was her disdain for him that prevented her from giving him the position of Black Magician. Even though Minold has a reputation for having a foul mouth, she is occasionally incredibly appreciative of the hard work he has done for the Empire behind closed doors. On the other side, Minold said that he detests Saint so much that he could pass away at any moment. According to Minold, a lot has been done to alter Isgard's prejudicial perception of dark mages. On top of that, Minold has asked Saint to provide him with a colossal PC with outstanding specifications and the fastest internet connection so that he can claim the award for the Divine Game Dungeon Power Fighter. Minold has instructed Saint to send the PC to Minold as quickly as possible. Saint pointed out that Minold must have begged her for anything that she could offer him from Isgard after becoming irritated with his foolish request. Minold was then instructed by Saint to take the spot exactly where he had been summoned and stand in the center of the summoning seal. While all was going on, Saint was at a loss as to why Minold would make the choice he did given his phenomenal skills and the wealth and recognition he would eventually acquire. The protection has been removed, and if Minold is interested in killing her, he may conceivably do it. If, however, he has no desire to kill Saint, she will begin the next phase of the ceremony. As Saint was going to take away the powers that Minold had acquired in Isgard, Minold suddenly attacked her due to the fact that Saint was not aware of his plan. Then Minold gasped, saying that it was all a lie, that he had worked so hard to acquire his powers and that he had given them all up. Saint has been made aware of every plan Minold has, but even by using dark magic, Minold will be unable to open the dimensional portal. And to Saint's surprise, Minold made use of dark magic to open the gate. "Stop!" Saint exclaims at Minold because he cannot make such a hasty attempt at dimensional transit. Given that he had already attained the pinnacle of his dark magic abilities, Minold knew about it, which is why he informed Saint that he had been practicing it more than 1,000 times. Since magic is all the same to Minold, he found himself reluctant to grasp how weird it was that they divided it into dark and light. Saint was a delight to get to know, and Minold said he hoped he would never run into her or bump into her again because if he did, Saint would already be dead. Every action Minold took as he returned to the real world infuriated and appalled Saint. When Minold eventually made it back to his world, the first thing he did was check his mobile device for updates. However, Minold was unaware of the massive number of soldiers who were surrounding him. Since Minold was summoned by Saint and their empire, it has been 2 years, and he still gets agitated when he recalls it. The soldiers warned Minold to make his way to them right away and not move forward while they were still moving through the neighborhood. When Minold noticed the soldiers, he expressed his confusion and acknowledged that he was only passing by. However, Minold did not comprehend that civilians were not allowed in the area. And without Minold noticing, a ferocious animal suddenly came to fruition behind him. "Deal with it, young man." As a vicious beast tried to get close to MC from behind, the soldier yelled, "Dodge, young man." When they witnessed MC control the ferocious animal by himself, the troops were shocked. The MC noticed that all of his demonic energy had vanished as he stopped the beast. Although the Beast first believed that MC couldn't employ black magic because of a lack of demonic energy, MC managed to handle the Beast, leading to the Beast's stunning defeat. Since he had been given strength training by Isgard with his blood, sweat, and tears, MC asserted that even though he has pondered the likelihood of the Beast's appearance in his realm, the troops accompanied MC to the evacuation center after that, and as they were traveling there, a soldier asked MC why he felt that he had gone too far for a Beast because he might have to go to jail for it. MC has been on his own ever since the commander told the soldiers not to exacerbate the situation. But following those strange events, MC was left in the dark about what was actually happening in their world. In response, MC said that, as a foreign resident, he was unaware of the circumstances. MC says, "This isn't the Korea I used to know," as he muses about the events of the past 2 years while he was away. When MC was around 7 years old, the dungeons phenomenon started to emerge. When MC realized that he was in a dangerous situation, he asked the soldier driving next to him if everyone had been evacuated safely, notably the game developers, because he was attempting to obtain employment at a game firm. Since everything had turned into a mess, MC was also curious about the destruction of structures like the server storage system. The soldier has promised to tell him everything he knows since, despite the fact that he may not have appeared to be an A+ student in dungeonology and monster theory during his time in college, he actually was. When MC learned that universities offered degrees comparable to those the soldier had earned, she was astounded. But the soldier said that it was more difficult to locate universities that didn't offer those courses. This means that every university has courses in dungeonology and monster theory, but MC is clueless about them. The soldier then explained to MC that the strange phenomena that began to spread from the dungeons 2 years ago are what caused the situation in Korea to become significantly worse. The soldier claimed that the dungeons started to get bigger and emerge significantly more regularly after a few days. The most pressing issue, though, was the growing number of enormous monsters that persisted in emerging from the odd dungeons. And as a result of that, the military was unable to maintain control over the dungeons, and some of the civilian sections had to be placed under lockdown. Since then, the military has tried a variety of strategies to fight back, but they are undermanned. When MC learned the information, he was too shocked to speak. MC afterwards received a text message with the subject line "The Call of the Nation," informing him that he had been enlisted at the X Division Recruit Training Center and that his enlistment would take place the following day. MC was surprised to find that, despite not having had a physical examination, he was still expected to show up for the recruitment on such short notice. Additionally, the fact that MC was informed 1 day prior to joining does not make any sense. The soldier said that he had already informed MC that they were low on personnel and that MC would typically just get his physicals done at the training facility right away. The military also advised MC to check everything again in the PC room near the evacuation center. Then, MC recalled how he simply hid out in his home and played video games while his parents disappeared. Thus, when MC was a grade 12 student without a single buddy, he got summoned to Isgard. MC started to develop an addiction to playing the forgotten paradise of humanity and considered that computer rooms were the best. As soon as MC's interest in playing games was gone, he checked the internet for news stories and, to his amazement, discovered that what the soldier guy had told him was accurate. MC was informed by the military personnel office of the date that he would be enlisting. Because MC's scheduled enlistment was the following day, according to the text message. Then, MC thought about how, had he retained all of his Isgrad-given abilities, he might have been able to escape from every dungeon on his own. However, the demonic energy that serves as the foundation for all of MC's evil magic has mysteriously disappeared from his body. It's not that MC is defenseless right now, although he can still defeat every monster in every dungeon by himself. The crowd heard the MC's plan and sentiments, but they were too shocked to respond. But MC is adamant that he would be able to handle every issue on his own. The following day, when MC arrived at the National Defense, he noticed that a large crowd had assembled. Some of them were crying and alone, while others were with their parents. The MC remarked, "Everyone's so depressed," as he walked across the event area and observed all the attendees. The administration then called everyone's attention to the fact that all soldiers must report right now to the auditorium. Aside from being informed that the army had changed, MC was also given information about it. MC was interested to learn if joining the army would be as difficult for him as Isgard's training. MC was astonished to see the instructors and their intense instructions for each soldier as he entered the auditorium. The commander invited the soldiers to raise their hands if they wished to join the Hunter Corps, but they did not get the chance to do so before the agenda began. Since everyone is conscious that hunters are treated significantly differently from ordinary troops and their starting base salary is 3 million won, the commander stated a number of people were reluctant to accept the pay, despite the fact that it was a considerable amount, and to everyone's disbelief, MC raised his hands. Shortly thereafter, as MC was asked to step forward, he stunned everyone by leaping to his feet. MC exclaimed with delight, "Recruit Kim Minjun." "Recruit Kim Minjun," the MC declared, indicating to the commanders his willingness to apply for the Hunter Corps. Isgard was in the Forgotten Canyon in the northern part of the game world, returning to the real world. According to what Isgard has been saying, the anguish associated with the Dark Mage job, which he refers to as MC, never ends. The truth is that even if they have crazy skills, if they run out of demonic energy, it's all for nothing. There isn't a worse character. Plus, it's not as though it will regenerate naturally like the mana of conventional magicians. But mana is always present and will always be. All MC needs to do is gather it. The MC must regularly acquire it by eliminating monsters with demonic energy. It goes without saying that employing it to replenish demonic energy is never effective. And because the MC's job is the worst, it's not like he can find party members. Therefore, if he happens to run out of demonic energy while he is in a dungeon, he is just going to die. The ideal way for a dark magician like MC to refuel and maintain his demonic energy was the question that followed. However, there was no one to answer his queries because MC was alone in a dungeon with other massive spiders. The MC then had the idea of approaching Arachneist, the secret dungeon boss of the abandoned canyon. MC said that as Arachneist approached to attack him, he felt he was going to pass out from boredom. Perhaps the Arachneist's onslaught on MC will provide the solution you've been looking for. After avoiding Arachneist's onslaught, MC declares that he has found the solution he had been searching for, defeating the monster with its maximum amount of strength. All of it was a flashback to Isgard, where Kim Minjun was at the height of his black power. He waited 645 days before coming back to Earth. While all of this was going on, MC was inside a room being served a commander's coffee. MC was instructed to wait, and a troop from the Hunter Corps would arrive to pick him up. MC was also told that the battalion commander himself was waiting for him. The commander, MC, was speaking, thought MC was quite excited, and inquired as to why MC was applying to the Hunter Corps. On top of that, many members, including those with exceptional powers, are rejoining the regular army since the situation is so dire. MC replied that it was also his reason, and he had some business in the dungeons. Even though it is impossible, MC still thinks he can complete all 10 of the stars in 5 years, so he must clear pretty much every dungeon there is. The dungeon power fighter can then unwind and cultivate the awakenings, allowing the main character to become a well-paid public figure. MC's strategy is pretty clever. When Hunter Corps Sergeant Lee Sung-go finally came and reported, the commander then presented the MC. Then he was taken aback to learn that the battalion commander had addressed a sergeant in a formal manner. The sergeant nevertheless inquires as to the MC's hunter skills because if the MC has awakened as a hunter, he should be able to access a status window. The sergeant then demanded that MC reveal all of his tattoos to him, but MC is unaware of anything the sergeant has been spitting. The Hunter Corps training facility at the battalion commander's headquarters is located somewhere in Gyeonggi-do. The commander and the soldier first met in Wachin 10 years ago, according to a soldier who reported and commented on the situation. The commander then extended an invitation for Hunter's son Yunseo to sit down. During her training, Yunseo will obviously not be given any extra consideration. The Hunter Corps is not a simple organization, to put it mildly. The commander then assured Yunseo that he would undoubtedly be interested in serving as the training commander given that a well-known rookie such as Yunseo herself had enlisted. The commander wanted to offer some words of inspiration to Yunseo because she had been informed that she would be busy right away. Selecting to enroll as a regular soldier as opposed to an executive should not have been simple. On the pitch, there is a shortage of players like Yunseo. Yunseo was thanked by the commander in his capacity as a soldier and a citizen of the Republic of Korea. Although a little ashamed, Yunseo nevertheless accepted the commander's encouragement. MC eventually made it to the training facility, where he was astounded by its size and beauty. But the sergeant has also stated that when all the tests are finished and it is determined that MC is a liar, he must be ready to enlist in the military police right away. Afterward, MC said, "He's being so frugal about everything." MC was given the exam right away, and he was told to move the enormous stone. If he succeeded in doing so, even just a little bit, he would pass. 10 minutes were allotted to the MC for the exam. It was claimed that the enormous stone was a byproduct of the dungeons known as red stone, a mineral. In addition to being very hard, it is also incredibly dense and heavy for its size. The test is so massive that a recruit cannot even move it, yet MC was sure and confident about it, saying it was only a simple question. There is no way to view another person's status window, according to the sergeant, and there will always be lowlifes trying to exploit the Hunter Corps with their subpar skills. The sergeant was perplexed by the fact that MC had just leaped onto the podium from a height of 5 meters, but the status pane showed an error. While waiting for MC, the commander head and Yunseo were nearby and able to observe. MC allegedly displayed tremendous physical prowess in front of the battalion commander at the recruit training center, but his status window displays an error, according to the commander, who has alerted Yunseo about this. The training commander of the hunting corps was a case that he had never even heard of, he said. To see how distinctive MC will be, the commander has great expectations. Then MC approached the red stone, touching it as he did so. As he did so, he realized that the stone was an extremely heavy mineral that was spread throughout the Isgard dungeons. MC then observed that he could easily push the stone aside due to its size. He urges the stone to be pushed since he thinks it might contain some demonic energy, but if it doesn't, it would be a shame. The red stone, according to MC, has demonic energy in it, and he likes to think about it as he strikes it. Everyone at the facility was astounded to see how MC was able to pass the test since the red stone wasn't only moved an inch by him, it was smashed like the sand on the beach. There is no black magic inside the stone, which is a shame. While these troops were on the run, some soldiers who had joined the hunting corps had begun to suspect something was amiss even before joining. Nam In-hyuk remarked that he was aware that the training would not be ordinary because everyone would have to take part in actual battles right after the training period ended and that they would all have to train incredibly hard for 4 weeks, including carrying the sandbags from the first training session and scaling the infamous 6,000 steps. Everyone kept getting hassled by the instructor as he checked everyone's finishing time, as if the training wasn't exhausting enough. It turned out that Sergeant Lee Songo, also known as the Devil Instructor, was the trainer at the Hunter Corps Training Center. Someone like Nam In-hyuk can only slightly improve his stats with such primitive physical training techniques. As one might expect, compared to the rags in Isgard, the harsh training for the Hunter Corps seems fairly sweet, and the military attire is unquestionably MC's style. Fortunately, the military allows its soldiers to exercise while also providing scrumptious meals. Sergeant Lee was baffled as to how MC was able to reach the spot ahead of schedule considering that it usually takes an average recruit an hour to get there, but MC did it in just 21 minutes, 0 seconds. Given that he was able to complete the training in less than 30 minutes, MC was happy to be granted the outing pass. It's not necessary to be strong and have excellent stats. Sergeant Lee also wonders if a recruit has ever been given an outing pass before. For the Hunter Corps, the ability to respond to creatures is crucial. He will still be keeping an eye on MC, though. While this was going on, the remainder of the troop returned to their ward, fatigued but happy to see that their stats had improved, and for some of them, their stamina had increased by 1. When MC was at Isgard for training, it was expected that his stats would increase by a factor of 10 every day, thus, he was astonished to hear that his soldiers became excited over a stat of 1. A few of the troops spoke with MC and offered their congratulations on obtaining an outing pass. Someone in the group overheard their instructors talking earlier and noted that nobody had ever been successful in getting an outing pass from Sergeant Lee before, and that MC was the first to do so. When MC was a dark mage, the inhabitants of Isgard would not even make eye contact with him since they thought he was unlucky. So MC was both relieved and astonished that his companions were speaking to him. "Well, it wasn't as bad of communication as MC thought," he remarked. As soon as one of his teammates announced that the PC room was now available for the day, he hurried to get there. Since it is already after 9 o'clock, MC ought to at the very least attempt to get at least 2 hours of sleep, as it was a luxury for anyone to sleep even 1 hour in Isgard. MC already considers 2 hours to be deep sleep, so why not? During the training session the following day, Sergeant Lee instructed each soldier to keep their speed constant while limiting the distance. The recruits who are unable to run 40 miles in 2 hours will not be given breakfast, he further told the soldiers. The other day, MC reached 10 maximum levels, which made him happy. After their training, his teammates were shocked to see him walking around without breaking a sweat, especially considering MC had been playing games every night for the previous 4 weeks, with the exception of 2 hours. MC's fellow soldiers worshipped him as if he were a saint and said that they thought he might be a demon for having such great stamina. He then gave his fellow soldiers drinks as if they were chicks. "Share your elixir of life with us, please." As they were being shared with his drink, the MC's companions exclaimed. In the meantime, the lieutenant declared that he was very disappointed with each and every recruit. Only half of the recruits were able to pass the standard, despite the fact that they are in the final week of training. The commander also declared that this group of recruits would be the most lacking squadron to date, taking into account all other squads. The lieutenant noted that if the recruits were deployed right after training, half of them would perish in a month and a half. Therefore, with such a mindset, the recruits will not even be able to complete the final phase of training, the dungeon adjustment training. Since most dungeons vanish once all of the monsters have been vanquished within them, the rationale for this was given as follows: on occasion, however, there are dungeons that will still exist. In that instance, it will morph into a transforming dungeon, whose internal structure will periodically vary and develop into a fantastic training ground for experiencing various dungeon situations. The lieutenant's announcement tensed the recruits, but he was pleased to see their reactions since they were all stirring because they must maintain such a level of tension. The real-life training that is facilitated within the transforming dungeon is the dungeon adjustment training. The approach of treating recruits like racehorses is also thought to be beneficial, because they must use a hard hand when whipping them and comfort them with carrots to enforce discipline. However, the lieutenant reassures his cadets not to give up, since if they utilize their intelligence, it will be nothing for them. He declared that the recruit who received the highest grade in the training would be awarded a pass good for 2 nights and 3 days of vacation. The lieutenant was worried after making his announcement, since only MC appeared to be thrilled, while none of his other soldiers appeared to be happy about the alleged incentive. The dungeon adjustment training day started the following day, and the bulk of the recruits were anxious about the potential results of their present training because the dungeon's entrance gate was so large. Then a 2.5-ton military truck showed up on the scene, and to everyone's surprise, they all saw a bizarre monster inside the truck. While the trainees were alarmed to find wild hounds inside the 2.5-ton military truck, MC was unconcerned by them because, to MC, hounds were merely the canine equivalent of a Maltese or Chihuahua. The recruits were required to wear the MYD2 safety suit, which is solely made with the intention of safeguarding the physical body and is exclusive to the hunting corps. It was reported to be quite heavy, crudely constructed, and to cost 5 million won. While MC thought that the suit had no effectiveness or comfort because it was solely intended for defense, some of the recruits' legs were shaking, and they were concerned because they had second thoughts about how difficult it was. When MC realized that the training was teamwork, he decided to instruct his team on how to overcome the hounds. The hounds will charge them in an effort to kill them, MC warned his crew, so they shouldn't be scared. Instead, they should grip the hounds' legs and split their backs in two. The hounds should also be dead by now if they have traveled that far. However, if they are still alive, the squad should fold the hounds' backs in the opposite direction and tear them apart. But the crew was unable to understand MC's strategy, much like how they would tear apart kimchi. The recruits were perplexed as to why the hounds did not attack them when they were released, to which the MC explained that they had been captured all day and that's why their house had just materialized. The revelation that MC had made was shocking to his team. Since MC was just like the hounds, he was able to understand the mentality of the monsters quite well. The lieutenant has determined that MC's team will enter the arena first. The MC will undoubtedly be happy to see them remove their bulky and filthy outfit, so it's a good thing if they can do so as quickly as possible. After the training began, the lieutenant told the instructor team to be ready to step in and take over if things got out of hand and put the recruits' lives in jeopardy. Corporal Kim Ho-jun, one of his recruits, has entered, according to the instructor. They spotted only one team of 4 and no other parties, but to their astonishment, they also noticed the MC was with the team. The recruit with the most obvious abilities during the round is named MC. His scores over the previous 4 weeks have been amazing, but the instructor is unsure if he will perform at the same high level in the dungeon. The hounds appear to be impatient, and MC wonders if they're ready to pounce. MC is convinced that he can end the problem by hitting the hounds in the head as soon as they charge, but he worries more that his teammates won't gain any training experience from it. Here they come, MC tells his squad as the hounds approach them. One of MC's teammates was alarmed by the hound assaults, but MC reassured him that he need not fear since the protection gear is very robust. But in the end, it was only MC who was able to seize the initiative. MC avoided the dog's blows and continued to carry out his plan as they attacked them. One of his fellow hunters was attacked while he was busy taking the other hounds, and MC had to defend him. The entire pack of hounds was destroyed by MC on his own, and he warned his companions to be prepared to fight back if they were bitten by a hound since, if they were terrified, the hounds would assume they were easy pickings. Then, MC advised his companions that if they were in a real situation, 2 of them would already be dead, and that because they were more numerous, they should take advantage of this to exert pressure on the hounds. The rest of the crew then paid close attention to what the MC had to say and made an effort to put it all into action. The way his squad responded when they attempted to pressure the hounds and they became spooked was something that made MC happy. The MC advises his team to remain focused on the hounds as they wait for them to de-stress. When the teachers saw the chaos, they were baffled by MC's aptitude for leadership. The instructors have also noted that under normal circumstances, fearful recruits like them are powerless to act once they lose their composure, but under MC's leadership, they are overcoming their fear quickly. The instructors have also said that MC might be the Hunter Corps sergeant who traveled back in time to the day before his enlistment and that things like that are only imaginable in books. Anyway, MC used his leadership skills by motivating and collaborating with his teammates, in addition to trying to solve the problem using his physical prowess. Thus, MC once again receives the highest score, while the rest of the team receives an average score. No matter how they fared on the test, the team did a fantastic job and received praise from their instructors. The squad was taken aback when they saw the professors, and MC questioned them right away whether he was the one who would be receiving the vacation pass. However, the teachers instructed him to stop talking and gather himself. The instructors, in MC's opinion, were such large tsunderas. They were shocked to notice that the dungeon was shaking and that the instructors had called and radioed the outside troops as they were all preparing to exit. Everyone was informed by MC that it was not an earthquake. They were shocked to discover that the passageways were closing on their own as the dungeon was altering in real time. The exit was about to close in on itself, and the others inside the dungeons, along with MC, were terrified because it was already too late for them to escape. "This is not good," the MC said. The teachers were going to radio everyone from outside when, to their good fortune, the radio died and the dungeon changed too quickly, trapping them inside. So, before the internal structure changes once more, everyone has a little over a month. The trainers then take their trainees somewhere else first. As everyone can perceive, there was an unexpected event in the dungeon, but the instructors warn them that they don't need to worry since they will wait for an hour in their current location to see if the dungeon entrance reopens as instructed in the instructions. The recruits were relieved to learn that they would leave if they waited for an hour, as they had all assumed they would be trapped there. The second instructor has said that they are certain that everyone outside was trying to analyze the situation as well. Since the lieutenant will take the necessary action, all they need to do is wait without getting anxious. However, MC assumed that the military continued to train there because they were confident that it would not experience any unforeseen circumstances similar to this. But it was a surprise, and it was rather foreboding how the entrance to the dungeon, which was always open, would suddenly close. And as MC had predicted, the teachers are aware that things aren't looking well. They have responded calmly, but there's a fair likelihood that there isn't a real manual for these circumstances. It might be more difficult to vanquish than MC anticipated if the dungeon has changed into an enclosed dungeon, as he believes. Additionally, he has noted that Isgard had a situation like this. The issue is not the worst, but it is tricky. The worst case scenario is present, and MC is present, so that is a given. The two instructors have confided in one another that they are certain the dungeon they are now in has changed into an enclosed dungeon. A dungeon's entrance vanishes in just two specific circumstances. The first time the dungeon dissipates is when the opponent defeats the dungeon, at which point it naturally vanishes. And in the second scenario, referred to as the enclosed dungeon, the portal gate vanishes the moment an outsider steps through it. The gate vanished, which makes sense given that they were within the dungeon at the time the morphing dungeon changed into an enclosed dungeon. Furthermore, more than one monster will undoubtedly come. Because a dungeon must be cleared of all of its inhabitants' monsters before it can be opened, this is the only way to leave one. In other words, there is no way for them to get outside help, which is true. The group of 6 must escape the dungeon with the help of 4 recruits who have no prior combat training and 2 instructors. They have all tensed up, as they should have once the instructor told them about their predicament. They are unsure of which creatures have come. If they were unlucky, this might be the beginning of the end for them all. But they can't really just stand still, you know. While still possessing the majority of their strength, they must continue going. It would also have been preferable if the instructors themselves had all the necessary tools. Even if they confront goblins at this rate, they will be entirely destroyed. The teachers won't be able to take one down for more than 10 minutes, so they will have more time. Using the protective suits that the recruits are outfitted with would be the most effective and practical course of action. They can defeat the monsters as the goblins attempt to hold out by using their defensive capabilities, positioning the recruits in front of the enemy, and using the absurdly dense and heavy suits as a shield. However, the trainers are also aware that the recruits have thus far put their trust in them and put up with their demanding training. When the instructors are their seniors, they will be unable to exploit their juniors as human shields due to their poor self-esteem. Then, a team member said that the incident in the dungeon during their final week of training was truly the icing on the cake of their enlistment. In the meantime, one of their instructors experiences a seizure without warning, and his companion runs to assist Corporal Kim Ho-jun. However, they are unaware that both of the instructors are experiencing seizures. MC noted that there was no way to save Corporal Kim even if their instructor went and assisted him. MC, however, headed in the direction of the teachers while admonishing his companions to remain back in case they encountered the same difficulty as their instructor. Aside from not being astonished by what transpired, MC consulted with their instructors and concluded that the two simply fainted and nothing more severe had occurred. MC walked towards the smell when he noticed it was familiar and told his comrades not to follow him but to instead wait at the exit. He then handed the instructors over to their care. Then, his comrades urged him to simply remain back because the situation was extremely risky for them all and MC might also perish like his teachers. Luckily, MC insisted on going nonetheless. The true reason their professors collapsed was due to demonic energy, which amazes MC that it exists on Earth. Therefore, MC then exclaimed that he was so pleased that he could pass away at any time. Although he did not find it unusual that the woken instructors were dozing off. Even as guardians are covered in a special defense before encountering the beasts to shield them from demonic energies. Because of this, it is significantly more deadly to regular people. But to dark mages like MC, demonic energies are like a phone charger. The dense demonic energy's origin was then reached by MC. There were no signs of a monster around since it was so silent. When confronted by a dark mage such as him, the creature could not remain concealed since it smelled. As it turned out, the monster was a dark hound, and the MC should not have assumed that because the two creatures' names are similar, they are the same. They are also a species that, in comparison to other hounds, is utterly dominant. After being summoned to Isgard for approximately a year, according to MC, is when he first came into contact with something akin to a dark hound. The main character, or MC, almost perished when he attempted to combat a monster he had never seen before in all the monster guides on Earth. MC is happy to see a familiar face, despite this. The Dark Hound's demonic energy served as MC's supper while he attacked it, and MC thanked it for that. Dark Hounds are challenging to defeat because of their venomous blood, which causes the skin of ordinary humans to rot when they come in contact with it. The smell of blood is still sickening to the MC, but the enormous amount of demonic energy that spills out after the death of the Dark Hound is unbearable. Naturally, none of those things apply to black mages like MC. The Dark Hound's blood produced venom, which did not hurt the main character because dark magicians like him are exempt from those conditions, as a result of the Dark Hound's defeat. For the first time in a very long time, MC is ecstatic as he takes in demonic energy. His perception of his charge level is 5%. For MC, the reason a Dark Hound that is often seen in Isgard was on their planet is still a mystery. The instructor's response led MC to believe that it was the first time he had heard of a monster on Earth possessing demonic energy, even though he had given the possibility some thought. When learning about monsters at the training facility, neither demonic energy nor the Dark Hound were mentioned. It is also impossible for the Dark Hound to manage dimensional travel on its own. Since only a saint who has access to God's abilities or someone like MC, who has attained the pinnacle of dark magic, can perform it, it is a skill that only a select few people possess. MC could not stop obsessing over what was essentially a small matter. The Black Hound's corpse, which he will need for his report, is next discovered by the MC. The instructors were awakened in the meantime, and they promptly proceeded to frighten the recruits after becoming concerned by everything. The only concern the instructors had was that MC had gone deeper into the dungeon on his own, which was otherwise fine, according to the professors. An instructor was informed by a recruit of all the details surrounding their graduation. Since MC only acts independently in such a hazardous scenario, the instructor found it impossible to believe his actions. It was also said that MC should be promptly ejected based only on his behavior. However, when the instructors realized they were no longer in a position to say those things, they were astounded. They also couldn't understand how, rather than guarding their recruits, they ended up collapsing. However, it was pointless to ponder about this at the moment. Instead, they needed to focus on saving MC. But MC suddenly appeared with the body of the Dark Hound on his back while the instructors and recruits were having a disagreement. The sight of the corpse and the realization that it was unlike any corpse they had ever seen stunned everyone. The corpse was subsequently given to the instructors, who were asked to examine it by the MC. The fact that MC was able to defeat such a sizable monster by himself astounded the recruits, who were astounded to discover how much strength MC possesses. The portal to the dungeon opens as the teacher examines the corpse that caused them to pass out. The teacher continues to be perplexed as to how MC managed to defeat the evil dog by himself. The other teacher was instructed to accompany the recruits, while the other one was left behind. The other instructor instructed MC to report to the lieutenant in full detail as soon as he arrived outside, and he was instructed to include everything, including how inept their instructors were. After all, they passed out and left the recruits alone. Even if they are imprisoned in a military facility, they have no justification. The instructor also thanked MC for his efforts, acknowledging that everyone was still safe as a result of them. The comments made by their professors made MC feel uneasy. However, their instructor taught him that, as a man, he must own up to mistakes when they occur. The instructor was perplexed since he had no idea how he would explain the reason for their sleepiness. MC was overjoyed by the accolades he had been receiving ever since their final training week. The status window of MC was then corrected, as they were ready to exit the dungeon. When MC received notice that the issue in his status window had been fixed, he was confused because he didn't know what kind of error it was. MC added that his status window on Earth is just as ludicrous as it is in the game. Despite the fact that his system has been restored, he continues to believe that something is strange. When MC reached the height of his black magic abilities in Isgard, he invented that cult as a joke to get rid of the zealots that followed him about like stalkers, so he was perplexed to see the Lumi Nuna is my favorite character remark. Lumi is a character from Dungeon Power Fighter. However, in the end, it simply served to inflame the already fervent fan base. MC has accepted that his stats are far worse than he had anticipated and that he has gotten noticeably worse in every way. The moment MC returned to reality and discovered that all of his demonic energy had vanished. Although MC had an unending array of skills, only one was left, and its rating was poor, contrary to what he had somewhat anticipated as a punishment for his dimensional journey. The result of corruption is certainly a stomach pain for the main character, but it's not like the book is a third-rate one, it's just so ridiculous that he wants to throw up. Additionally, MC has stated that despite being unable to accomplish any of his goals at this time, he was still able to attain the pinnacle of his dark magic abilities in Isgard. And it's not like he can't do it again since he previously reached the highest level. For the benefit of the gaming firm, which is currently experiencing development delays because of monsters, MC's goal to regain his powers as quickly as possible has become more evident. MC exclaimed, "It's doable. Everything that has happened is nothing in comparison to the circumstances in Isgard, where he had no choice but to endure." The same day, there was complete commotion across the training facility due to a dungeon gate closing while training was taking place. The recruits who should have received the private ranks and enjoyed their freedom until dispatch were instead on standby due to the lieutenant's unclear instructions and the fact that a single recruit was able to defeat a new species of monster while the instructors were powerless to intervene as a result of the unprecedented series of events that took place. Afterwards, while still in the same room, the recruits began to argue that the military should at the very least permit them to watch television if such bizarre incidents were to occur during the last week of training. Then a participant questioned the validity of MC's claim to have successfully caught a hound on his own. The fact that it was a large dog rather than a cow when they first spotted it was confirmed by his companion, who said that they had mistaken it for a cow at first. The goal at the time was for MC to advance to sergeant within 2 years. Additionally, despite serving the entire 5 years, it was claimed that the Hunter Corps promotion exams were extremely difficult and that the majority of candidates were only discharged as corporals. Thus, it appears that there are also hunters who are released in private first class, which is sad to consider. MC then informed the lieutenant. In order to break the ice, the lieutenant made a joke about how foolish he was for not thoroughly inspecting the dungeons and that he should be punished. To cut to the chase, however, the lieutenant has informed MC that the reason he was summoned to report is because he has something to share with MC. Since MC achieved the highest score, the lieutenant has a unique proposal for MC. "Do you want to hear it?" he said. The commander said that he was fortunate to have lived long enough to witness such a sight of MC and used the term "a crane and a flock of chickens" to characterize MC as being truly exceptional and not an average human. Nobody anticipated that MC would turn out to be a crane, so it was quite a surprise. The rest of the recruits, even those who performed above average, now appear to be chickens in comparison. A national loss would result if such a talent joined the ordinary loss, according to the commander, because they require more personnel. The commander was also informed that MC wished to advance as quickly as possible, but because of company policy, privates are not eligible to sit for promotion exams for another year. It's a different story, though, if MC was given an exception. The commander will gladly let MC exercise his right to request an exception under his control as the training commander if MC were to offer to join the Hunter Corps in Chorwon, Gangwon-do. If MC complied with his request, he exclaimed, he wouldn't have to wait another year to fulfill his goals. The commander then had second thoughts about MC's choice because MC was quiet throughout his proposal, The commander was pressuring MC to do too much, and he also believed that the promotion exception might not be enough for MC. The 104th Division, also known as the Invincible Hunter Squad, is located in Sherwan, which MC's fellow soldiers warned him to stay away from at all costs. Initially, it was quite cold there, and snow was falling and piling up all the time. However, the MC initially believed that it might be monotonous and that the dungeons and monsters that arise in the Chorwan of Gangwon-do were also unexpected. It is also regarded as being the most extreme of the front lines. The MC thinks that because he may advance wherever he is deployed, the pursuit is too thrilling for his tastes. Additionally, he believes it would be incredible if he were to be given a promotion exception. Additionally, the area where MC is working is full of dungeons, which makes it the ideal setting for him. In order for his plan to succeed, MC must move forward at all costs. Because the higher the level, the wider the scope of his actions, the best method for the MC to gain a promotion is to complete tasks in the dungeons. When MC finally decided to accept the request, the commander was surprised because he had not anticipated it coming from him because the quest was too difficult for anyone to complete. "I'm heading to Chorwan," MC yelled. When MC was going to leave the facility, his troops had to caution him to use caution and not forget to get in touch with them once he reached the Chorwan. Even though they were very concerned about MC's rash decision, they couldn't help but wonder why MC would volunteer to go somewhere that everyone would want to avoid. Well, it could be too much for his allies to comprehend, but MC said that he has a crazy life purpose that they might not know about. 100 will not be a big issue for MC because, as of the day before, he had already reached his 31st maximum level, which he had previously disclosed to everyone. After that, Private Kim Minji showed up to pick up MC, but MC was shocked to see how terrified Kim Minji appeared to be. The delay in his arrival was due to the snow, according to Private Kim, who told MC. Since the time of year for snow has not yet arrived, MC was curious to know how likely it would be. MC, who was left at the back of the truck while they were traveling, considers the fact that he will actually begin his life as a soldier when they arrive at the base. Although MC is unconcerned about the difficulty of the training or the frequency of his battles with monsters, he is concerned about hazing because he lacks the patience to put up with something similar at the present. If MC hits his superior even once, he may be sent straight to the military prison as a regular soldier, leaving him little choice except to put up with everything for the time being. When they got to the 104th Division, 2nd Battalion of the Hunting Corps in Gangwon-do, Chorwan, MC was shocked to see that snow was indeed falling from the sky. Private Kim led MC to his room and presented him to his roommates, telling them to feed and train MC and announcing to everyone that MC is a newbie. Everyone in the room was taken aback to see a newcomer like MC because they had heard a lot of rumors about him and were unaware of his true identity. MC's housemates referred to him as the fool who took down a hound by himself. Then a flatmate yelled that everyone in the room had to unpack MC's belongings. MC can't help but wonder if the people who welcomed him were the dormitory's alphas. This thought made MC uncomfortable because everyone in the room was beaming with delight, as though they had just found a new toy. When MC's roommate realized that he might have opted to move to the back if his scores were exceptionally high, the roommate questioned MC as to why he had gone to their division. MC said that he had heard that the front lines were the best places to obtain practical experience and the quickest paths to advancement, which is why he had made the decision to go. The roommates found MC to be intriguing and continued to ask him various questions. They also requested that MC demonstrate his talent, but he was hesitant to do so out of fear that they would all get uncomfortable. The roommates were not impressed by the talent of the MC because they can all perform one-finger push-ups all day, so the MC decided to demonstrate it to them. However, to their astonishment, MC performed a vertical one-handed finger push-up, and everyone was shocked to see him do it because no one else in the platoon could. In the meantime, MC was ordered to halt and get lost by Sergeant Lee Sungo, who abruptly ended the show. Sergeant Lee surprised MC and left him stunned when he heard his voice. MC was dumbfounded by the arrival of Sergeant Lee Sungo at the Chorwan. Sergeant Lee was actually sent out as an instructor, but it was later revealed that he had actually been demoted for allegedly torturing children for 4 days. The volcanic dungeons were being observed by Sergeant Lee, who informed him that they were constantly causing damage due to their high temperature. Even though they were crammed into a small area, the MC could not help but observe that the ranks between them were incredibly different. They were not all from the 1980s, as they pretended to be. As MC is Dongjin's immediate junior, Sergeant Lee demanded that Private Class Lee Dongjin instruct MC correctly. However, MC was shocked to learn that Dongjin was older than he was, and as Dongjin approaches him and requests to have a meal with him as he has a special permit to attend the post exchange, a supermarket located inside a military installation, MC finds out that he is in fact Dongjin's senior. Even traveling to the post exchange requires a special authorization for entry, which MC could not understand because of how stringent the Chorwan were. MC was surprised to see how wonderful Dongjin is after being told by him to choose whatever he wanted to eat as much as he liked. A total of 300,000 won was spent by MC on the foods he was drawn to, which caused him to start shaking because everything was too nice for him, and the cashier could feel how uneasy MC was. Privates in first class and lower are only permitted to visit the post exchange on weekends, according to Dongjin, though some may be able to enter on other days if they receive a special permit. Additionally, in order to utilize the gyms or PC rooms, a person must be a private first class or higher, which worries MC because those are the only activities he enjoys doing. Some people may find it unreasonable to hear, but MC will have to grow accustomed to it because it is not a problem that a private class like Dongjin can fix. To even consider changing the regulations, MC needed to rise to at least the level of sergeant, and even then, since he couldn't easily voice his objections at the Chorwan as he used to in other locations, MC expresses his disappointment. Furthermore, he thinks that confining PC rooms goes too far. MC was also informed by Dongjin that becoming a sergeant in the Hunter Corps requires a lot of rank advancement. He explained to MC that he repeatedly failed the advancement exam, which is why he has been in a private class for 3 years at this point. The MC reassured Dongjin that he will undoubtedly advance the following time, but that for now, his top priority is securing a rapid promotion so he can bring Dongjin along. MC and Dongjin were having a conversation when a sergeant called Kim Gwangshik interrupted them. Dongjin then offered Kim Gwangshik a seat and some food. MC saw that a strange man resembling Sergeant Kim arrived as soon as Dongjin finished speaking. The two were then warned by Sergeant Kim that he would not speak to them about their conversations but that if they proved ineffective the next day during the firearms training, MC and Dongjin would both perish since Sergeant Kim would not be willing to let them off the hook simply because MC was a new member of the hunting troop. Since firearms training is a little different in their squad than it is elsewhere, Dongjin quickly informed Sergeant Kim that he was about to explain it to MC. Sergeant Kim was worried if he had overstepped his bounds once more because Dongjin also claims that Sergeant Kim is unduly concerned when things are going well. Even though Dongjin is doing well, MC was curious as to why he is still a private first class. Even still, MC was troubled by Sergeant Kim because he was such a pain in the ass, so MC made the decision that he would no longer hold back and unleashed his dark magic power against Sergeant Kim. The moment Sergeant Kim finished eating, he noticed something odd and looked at the expiration dates on everything he had. Due to MC's E-rank corruption skill, which MC noted was sometimes useful, Sergeant Kim developed an unsettled stomach. In the meantime, MC questioned Dongjin over the firearms instruction he had earlier mentioned. Before realizing that the Hunter Corps employs bullets of a similar nature but with even greater strength, Dong questioned MC whether he had fired a KX-2 with the ICM bullets. ICM stands for Enhanced Conventional Ammunition, and the Hunter Corps employs these bullets while facing huge monsters. Dongjin further remarked that if the ICM bullet used at the training center were compared to a pony, their bullet would be compared to a wild stallion. Because the sound is like someone is firing a cannon and the recoil is altogether different. Furthermore, the firepower is significantly more crucial because the monsters visit their camp much more frequently. Dongjin encourages the MC to be prepared to be reprimanded once but to still not worry about it, despite the fact that it may seem awkward at first. MC thinks the analogy between a pony and a wild stallion is extremely apparent. When MC gives it some thought, he realizes that the long-range weaponry he used in Isgard must be comparable to an elephant, but MC doesn't even want to call them weapons. MC is more than content if it's merely a stray stallion. To Dongjin, MC said, "I'm looking forward to the training." MC completed the shooting challenge on the day of the weapons training with 19 direct hits and 1 miss. While everyone in the facilities room was in awe of how MC performed, they were unable to speak, and MC felt horrible for missing a shot. Others have claimed to have hit their greatest mark at 14 shots, which is over average for the squad but much above the mark for the typical person. First Sergeant Hyo Tae-sok, the administration and supply officer for the 2nd Battalion of the 2nd Company, shouted that he had heard rumors about MC, claiming that he was an elite, and that seeing him perform during the shooting confirmed the rumors. 2nd Lieutenant Kim Min-cheol, the commander of the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Company, and 2nd Platoon, is on the other side and expresses his shock that MC was able to score 19 headshots while still being in amazement. Some of his fellow soldiers were shocked to see how precisely MC fired, but MC said he had only followed instructions. It was subsequently announced that specific gun training would be conducted for MC as a result of his success on his first firing duty. Sergeant Kim and all of MC's fellow soldiers commended him for his excellent shooting skills, but they also pointed out how terrible it was for him since if he had made all 20 shots, he would have been entitled to a holiday. MC thanked all of the people who had complimented him, but he couldn't help but wonder about his unique gun training because he hadn't heard anything about it. It was explained to MC that although new members are typically excused from the special firearms training since it takes them some time to become acclimated to their ICM bullets, MC is an exception because he is such a skilled shot. A 2-person team enters the training facility as part of this special firearms training and kills the monsters as they make their way to the target. The monsters themselves aren't particularly hazardous, but the MC will have to contend with shifting objects. As the creatures attack, the MC must be prepared to defend herself. Consequently, the civilian target plates that occasionally appear are something else the MC needs to be on the lookout for. Regardless of how many monsters the MC kills, if he even hits one of them, the mission is doomed. Because the executives will be in charge of everything and will be protecting MC from any danger, there is no need for MC to fear, even if he will be battling actual monsters. When MC learned that some live creatures were anticipated, he became enthusiastic and eager to start the special training immediately. Everyone was eating in the cafeteria, but MC's fellow soldiers couldn't help but be speechless over how well he did on the shooting range. MC was even said to have been destined to be a soldier by Dongjin. As a result of his 13 hits, MC informed Dongjin that he is also a good player. To be fair, Dongjin had to acknowledge that he had some positive encounters, but, on the whole, he acknowledged that his abilities are lacking. Sergeant Lee Swengo, on the other hand, is a genuine professional. He is their squad's top shooter since, on average, he delivers 17 direct hits. Sergeant Lee is quite good, but he still thinks he is at the top of the game because he had 19 hits on his first try, despite the fact that their squad's average hit total was 10. Nevertheless, Dongjin expresses his happiness and informs MC that he hopes he succeeds in the specialized gun training. Additionally, Dongjin has stated that he cannot assure MC that he will be joining him because the executives are the ones who choose the squad that will be attending the training with him. It's been said that the ladder lottery is used to determine the team members' eligibility. A random pairing between 2 sets of items is intended to be produced by the ladder lottery. Amitakuji and Gijiatu are some of its other names. All troops were instructed to don their bulletproof vests and prepare to go on standby since the special firearm training was scheduled to start in 5 minutes. The training partner for MC, Sergeant Kim, was made known to him. Sergeant Kim mentioned that MC is on his team, and he assumed that the training would be difficult because of this. A sergeant and a private, after all, are 2 quite different people. According to MC, Sergeant Kim still hasn't learned his lesson and would keep hazing him as he observed Sergeant Kim's facial expressions. The average completion time for their unit was 3 minutes, and Sergeant Kim has told MC that he expects them to decrease that time as rookies. Sergeant Kim advised MC to complete the task in the allotted 3 minutes because failing to do so would be a mistake. Sergeant Kim's ultimatum left MC feeling rather bewildered, and she went quiet for a while. Sergeant Kim continued to make fun of MC since he wasn't reacting to him, saying that MC was a hopeless case. However, MC has informed you that he will make every effort to do so. Sergeant Kim went on to say that he doesn't care if MC gives it his all, since what he really wants is for MC to deliver results, because if MC finishes later than Sergeant Kim, MC will have to face serious repercussions from him. He also told MC to keep an eye on and study the team in front of them. The shooters were then told to report, with MC controlling shooting lane 1 and Sergeant Jong Han-young controlling shooting lane 2. After 2 people in a group descend into the underground facility in separate lifts, the unique gun training begins.